When thinking about my marriage, I guess I have to go back to my days when I was single and growing up in a small church in Spain, non-Catholic. I talked to God and I decided that I was going to trust Him, that He was going to bring the right person to my life.
My trip to Spain was the sophomore year of college, and I was going to complete my Spanish minor. We went to a small church in Alcalá de Henares, and that's where I met Antonio for the first time.
Years later, I met Pam in a small church, in the same church in Spain.
I had been given strict instructions by my parents not to get involved with anyone while I was over in Spain, and I didn't think that was a problem because in my whole year before I hadn't gotten involved with anyone.
In November of 1988, I managed to talk to her in English, Spanish, sign language, and told her that I love you.
And I thought about what my parents had told me, and I said if they could meet Antonio, they would fall in love with him, and I found myself also falling in love with him.
She went back to the United States on December 24th, and we decided that the next summer I was going to go to the United States for the first time and meet her parents and ask for her hand.
He came to meet them and to ask my dad permission to marry me, and when they met, I just think that they saw his dedication to me and his desire to meet them.
The family had a plan. It was to go camping to Lake Superior for about a week. So we went over there. When the day came that we had to go back home, she woke up with a headache and she didn't feel very good. When we arrived home, she went back to sleep and we all went back to sleep. But I was awakened by her father around 2 o'clock in the morning because she was getting worse. We drove to the hospital. The next time I saw her, she was in a coma, machines beeping everywhere, tubes everywhere. I was in a shock. For a few weeks, I was the happiest man of this world, and suddenly she was dying. I mean, the doctors were saying that she only had 10% chances of survival.
I was very disoriented. I had no idea what was happening.
One day I was coming back to her room, and a nurse came running to me and she said, you know, Pam just awoke.
Finally started to be able to move, and the first time I lifted my hand to my chest, and I was able to see my right hand, and my pinky was all black and stiff, and I just remember thinking, wow, this isn't me.
In the next few days, it was obvious that she was gonna lose her legs below the knees, and she was very possibly gonna lose her hands too. I tried to help her, I tried to stay with her, encourage her, but it was obvious that I couldn't do anything. Only God could help her at that moment.
When he came in, I was all bandaged. And yeah, he saw that I didn't have legs, and he saw bandaged stumps, but he didn't see what I was seeing.
After 6 weeks in the hospital, I had to go back to Spain.
I could not see a future. Antonio remained really optimistic, but I didn't see a future.
But as I was calling her on the phone, I noticed that I was losing her.
And I decided that I needed to go back, and I needed to face Spain and the people that I had so unceremoniously left without ever exchanging any more words. I kept telling him, we're just friends. There's nothing more there. There's nothing more there, we're just friends. And so when we went back, when I got off the plane, I'm like, I'm going to walk, even though I was having a great difficulty walking.
Last time I saw her was 2 years ago. I left her on a bed without legs, and this time I saw her walking to me, and it was a very special moment. So we hugged each other, and at that moment I knew that this was gonna be more than friends. We have been married for 19 years. Like any other couple, we have our arguments, we have our up and downs, but we always managed to talk and save the situation.
And after everything that we've gone through and that we've seen that God is faithful, and we can look back to and know that we've been through bad times and that we can make it.